I played Jay Gatsby, or Jay Gats in the film, a young man that came from humble beginnings, that sort of recreated himself according to his own imagination for the love of a woman named Daisy, who belonged to a different class structure than him. And I think he's very much the manifestation of the American dream of imagining who you can become, and in a place and a time like America in the 1920s. Gatsby is an incredible character play because I think everyone has their own interpretation of who Gatsby is and what his motivations are. And a lot of what makes Jay Gatsby interesting is what is left unsaid in the novel and what is left unsaid about Jay Gatsby. Time and time again, you pick up on these little inklings of, what Fitzgerald was trying to say about Gatsby. Because like I said, when I first read it, I was like, oh, here's this hopeless romantic who is truly in love. But, there's a key moment in the book where he's finally got Daisy in his arms. There is that green light that is now manifested itself into something physical, and he has her there, but he's still staring out at the green light. He's still searching for something, and that void isn't necessarily filled. He's not present with her. The list of dreams has, declined by one. And is it good enough? Is she good enough? Is she going to be the ultimate perception of what he thought she was in his own imagination? The whole idea of 3D, too, was very interesting to me, The fact that Baz wanted to almost make it like a theater production, and that's what I think we've seen 3D in a lot of ways, and seen it for all its spectacle and seen fantastic action sequences, but to use it in a dramatic context is very interesting because then it does become like theater. Then you get you actually feel the distance between characters, and you feel the intensity that characters will have with one another, especially in the sort of plaza sequence at the end. I mean, 3D is used very brilliantly in that film to understand the heat and how close these people were in the room, and the issue that needed to be brought up, and the sort of way in which they were trying to be gentle. Jay was trying to be a gentleman about the situation, but the fire that was sort of brewing beneath him, 3D, and from a dramatic perspective, is used quite brilliantly in it. And so that was a whole other exciting element about doing this film in 3D with Baz. As soon as Carrie came in the room, we kind of knew as soon as she sat down that she was able to encapsulate all those things that was Daisy Buchanan. And as soon as we read with her and started doing some of the scenes with her, she was able to portray all that sophistication in each one of the lines that she said. And as soon as she left the room, I don't know if Baz and I said, well, that's the person for the job, but we both kind of looked at each other like we knew. We knew we found our Daisy Buchanan. Well, Baz and Catherine, as long as I've known them, and I've known them for 20 some odd years now, have always been a partnership, not just in life, but creatively. Baz bounces every single idea he has off of Catherine. She is the second part of Baz's production in every aspect. The idea of infusing hip-hop, the ideas of giving the 1920s that sort of modernism that, that isn't going to separate you from being within that time period, but makes you understand the sort of cultural references and what it would be like if these people existed today. The cars were just a little bit faster, they were a little bit louder, the costumes are just a little bit more outlandish, and everything's just a little bit more extravagant to make you understand how enormously wealthy these people were and how outrageous their lifestyle was.